All right. Okay, fabulous. So like I said, starting in that comfortable starting position, whatever that means for you this evening, and starting with our scan of the body. So from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. As you take that scan, all we're doing is noticing without any judgment how you're feeling today, where any points of tension or soreness might be in the body, maybe some spaces that feel particularly good this evening as we get going. And like I said, that's as always without any judgment. So just noticing so that you're aware of your starting point, noticing where you can give yourself that little bit of extra leeway as we get moving, and also those places that you can maybe take up just an extra notch as we get into our flow. As you complete that scan of the body, I invite you to take your initial range of motion, whatever that may be. So maybe it's a stretch, like I said, maybe you're in that comfortable seated, you find a spinal twist, a lateral stretch, a roll of the head and the neck, a forward fold. Maybe you're at hands and knees, you find your cat and cow, your child's pose to cobra. Maybe you find that downward facing dog, or maybe it's something completely different that I don't mention, but you know is going to feel particularly good to start your practice off this evening and relieve any initial tension in your body. And we'll take about 6 or 8 nice deep breaths in that initial range of motion or stretch. So take your time, find that stretch that feels good, maybe find 2 stretches that feel good, 2 ranges of motion that feel good. And if that scan of the body didn't quite point out any particular tension, but as you start moving, you find it, feel free to adjust as you go. And let's go ahead and take 3 or 4 more nice deep breaths. So if you're finding a 2-directional change range of motion, maybe you find one more time in each direction. Maybe if you find that stretch, find that one more big inhale and exhale to get a little bit deeper and then make your way out of it. When you do finish that next nice deep breath or 2, go ahead and make your way to that comfortable seated position. And we'll start off with those couple of initial ranges of motion all together. As always, that comfortable seated position can be legs crossed if that feels good, or legs out long, or knees bent, feet planted if that's better for you this evening. We'll start off with our roll of the head and the neck. So that next big inhale finds that super long spine. Our exhale drops the chin to the chest, and then nice and easy at a pace that feels good for you, we'll rock the head side to side, right ear towards that right shoulder. As always, you can reach that left hand down for a little more intensity. Exhale drops us through center, and then our inhale in that second direction. Like I said, just that nice, easy side to side, taking it at a pace that feels good for you. So maybe you move at the same pace as I do, or maybe your breathing is a little bit faster or slower. And as always, a little bit lower of that chin, a little closer towards the shoulders, going to be a little less intense. And if you look up a little closer towards the ceiling, that's going to be a little more intense. Let's take 2 more nice deep breaths, once more in each direction. When you finish that second direction, that second time, that next exhale drops the chin back to the chest. And then that inhale lifts that head back up nice and long away from center. From there, we'll go right into some shoulder rolls. So take your time finishing out those last 2 and then pulling those shoulders up towards the ears and then either down into the front or down into the back. Just a couple times in that first direction here. Go ahead and take 2 more nice big circles in that first direction. Then when you finish that second, just change that same thing other way. We're doing a little bit of work in our plank, in some inchworms, in our low flow. Getting those shoulders ready to go 2 more circles in that second direction. And then go ahead and relax those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. When you get there, we'll go into our lateral stretches up next. So that next big inhale takes us out and up. When you get to the top, take a moment, stretch up nice and long away from center, fingertips towards the ceiling. Maybe you look up towards those fingertips. With your next exhale, go ahead and drop that right hand down towards the mat. Left arm up over top, as always, keeping the chest open towards that side for that front wall. Maybe that elbow comes down a little closer towards the mat. From there, go ahead and move a couple times at your own pace, side to side. Inhale, pulling it up through center. Exhale down in that other direction. And same thing here, if you move a little faster or slower than me this evening, that is totally fine. Choosing that pace that feels good, and maybe you find that a hold feels good in one direction or the other. And just finding that nice stretch. Excellent. We're going to go ahead one more time in each direction. As always, if you need that third change of direction to even out and hit that second side your final time, feel free to take it. When you do finish that second side, we'll go right into those spinal twists. So that inhale will take those arms up nice and long to center. And then our exhale will take us into that first direction of that twist. One arm comes forward, the other arm goes backwards. And then same thing, we'll just move nice and easy side to side at a pace that feels good for you. As always, those arms can stay low as you come through center, or they can come high to encourage that nice long spine each time you move across center, and just taking it nice and easy at your own pace. Nice spinal twist. Fabulous. And let's go ahead one more time in each direction. Same as before. If you need that extra change of direction to hit that second side one final time, please feel free to take it. And then bring it right on back to center. Relax those arms down and around. Relax those shoulders down and around. Whew, maybe shake it out a little bit if there's another good stretch that you know will feel good. Maybe an easy forward fold. And then we're going to make that transition up to standing. So take your time, bring it on up, however feels good to make your way up. And I'm going to make my way a little bit different than normal to the back of my mat. So I have space in front of me. And we'll get started nice and slow. So we're not quite done with our warm up, but we are going to work our way towards our flow from here. And this is where we will initiate it when we get there. So from the back of our mat, starting in that mountain pose, as always, feet can be right underneath those hips, or if you like them a little bit wider or narrower, feel free to find that comfortable standing position, nice and solid. Pulling those shoulder blades down nice and low away from the ears, maybe a slight lift of the chin. The hands can be down by your side, palms can face forward, can face in. Maybe strike that power pose with the hands on the hips. We're gonna start with just two nice deep breaths, just nice and still right here. Those big inhales and exhales, allowing that expansion through the lungs, through the ribs, through the chest as you inhale, and that release and relaxation, especially of those shoulders, the muscles of the face, the jaw, the tongue coming away from the roof of the mouth. One more nice deep breath. And then we'll take two, but this time we're going to lead with those arms. Feel free to bend the knees as well if you'd like. That inhale is going to take us out and up. Nice big stretch long away from center. And then that exhale brings those arms back down and around. We'll do that one more time just like that. That inhale takes us up. And that exhale brings us down. Fingertips are going to come right in front, pointing towards those toes, and we're going to roll one vertebrae at a time down into our forward fold. So be gentle with yourself, as always. Gentle bend in those knees if you need it. Let's start with the neck. So as we just kind of trace those fingertips down towards the toes, dropping the chin to the chest, opening up those shoulder blades and starting to round out that upper back as we trail those fingertips down towards the toes, making your way to your mid back, your lower back, and then all the way to the tailbone as you hit that pelvis, bringing it underneath and finding that forward fold. So like I said, feel free to have that gentle bend in those knees. If you need a little less intensity on that first inversion of the evening, maybe keeping your head up just a little bit higher here, and finding three nice deep breaths in this fold just to kind of try and release and relax into it. Find that nice stretch as we aim those fingertips down towards those toes. If you're feeling a little more flexible, or you are a little bit more flexible and you can reach a little further, feel free to take it down, relax the head and the neck, relax the shoulders, open up through the spine. One more nice deep breath here. Big inhale and exhale in this fold. And we're just going to reverse it and roll it all the way up, ending with those arms up overhead. So let's start from the bottom, from that tailbone, turning it under, keeping the spine rounded and the chin tucked in towards the chest, going to the lower back. the mid back, pulling those shoulder blades together, shoulders stay low, lifting the chin, and then those arms back up overhead. We're going to roll it down one more time into that fold. So fingertips come down, chin drops to the chest, open the shoulder blades, round out through the rest of the spine until you hit that tailbone, and then back into that fold. From here, we're going to find our 2 breaths, this time with our halfway lifts. Inhale to that nice flat back, that long spine, that active core. Exhale back into that forward fold. Do that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine, active core. Exhale into that fold. I want you to bend your knees as much as you need to bring those fingertips down to the floor. And then we're going to inchworm our way out into our high push-up plank position. If the shoulders are bothering you today, you can take it a little easier if you need to send those knees down towards the mat earlier. If not, we're walking it out into that plank. And if you do need that, maybe you get halfway out, you drop those knees, you walk it out, and then you lift it up. Or if we need that little bit of extra help here today, as always, those knees can be down. Nice long line from the knees to the shoulders. When you hit that plank position, think about that core activation. Pull those shoulder blades apart from each other here. Keep all 10 fingers in contact with the mat. Pull that belly button in towards the spine, nice and active through the lower body. Fabulous. We're going to reverse it, inchworm our way back into that forward fold. So bend those knees a little bit, walk those hands back until you can get those feet planted nice and solidly on the floor, and then start to lengthen those knees. Keep the fold here, but just lengthening up until those legs are long. Excellent. Exhale just to round and release into it. We're going to do that same thing. So our halfway lift, we've got 2 of them. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine, that same active core that we've got for that plank. Exhale into that fold. One more time like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale into that fold. And then let's inchworm it out. So bend those knees, fingertips come to the mat, walk it out. Again, if you get to here and those shoulders start to bother you, you can drop those knees, step those hands back out, and then bring it up to that plank. If you can, keep those knees off the mat. Excellent. Finding that nice, stable, strong plank position. Activating through that core, just like we did in that halfway lift. Looking good. Let's take it to our downward facing dog. Press those hips up and back. Nice little stretch for the shoulders, for the chest. Maybe you start to pedal out those heels. Maybe you keep that gentle bend in those knees. Maybe that slight lift of the head if we're still feeling a little bit of that inversion. Excellent. We're going to take it nice and easy through the lowest level of our low flow here one time, and then we'll start to step it up. So from here, I want you to go ahead and take it to that high push-up plank position, shoulders over wrists. From here, I do want you to go ahead and drop those knees. We've still got that nice long line from the knees to the shoulders, so try and bring those hips down in line. Keep the elbows close, send them straight back and lower through our chaturanga until the chest meets the floor. So go ahead, bring it all the way down, release that tension. Bring the tops of those feet to the mat, and then just press it into our baby cobra. So just peeling the chest up off the mat, maybe a little pressure through those hands, but not a whole ton. And then we're going to use this to go ahead and transition back into our child's pose. So go ahead and send those knees wide, send those hips back towards those heels. Maybe those big toes are nice and close together. Again, a nice stretch for the chest. And then let's take it back up into our downward facing dog. So a little pressure through the palms, lift the hips, curl the toes, press the hips up and back, down dog. All right, now as always, you can keep that low flow right there. Any of those options are fabulous. We're going to take it up just a half notch in that cobra. So go ahead and float those shoulders out over those wrists, high push-up plank. Toes or knees, either way, keep the elbows super close, that long line through the body. Elbows send back as we lower. Bring it all the way down once again until your chest meets the mat. Tops of those feet then meet, and then feel free to bring it up into that full cobra if that feels good. You can, as always, keep it in that baby cobra if that's better for you. And then same option, you can transition through that child's pose, or you can take it right up to that downward facing dog. So if you're sending it to that child's pose, knees come wide, hips go back towards the heels. If not, turn those toes over, activate the core first, and then press those hips up and back. If you found that child's pose, go ahead and lift the hips, curl the toes under, send the hips up and back. Meet us in that down dog one more time to step it up before we change it up. Shoulders float out over those wrists, high push-up plank position, toes or knees. So you can feel free to keep those knees up, send those elbows back, and bring it down through chaturanga and up to cobra or baby cobra. And then one more time, if you'd like that child's pose, you can take it. If not, we're turning those toes under, activating that core, pressing those hips up and back. Down dog, we'll take a moment here. So if you found that child's pose, finish that nice big exhale, and then lift those hips. Curl the toes under, press the hips up and back. Fabulous. From here, we're gonna float it out to our high push-up plank, but not move into our chaturanga. So go ahead and float it out. We're gonna find a little bit of activation here into our rocket. So rather than lowering down, I want you to bend the knees and press those hips straight back. So just like we did into our down dog, but without those legs long. From here, I'm gonna power off of that right foot and bring it forward into my lunge. So I'm using this activation, this bend in those knees to really press off of it and bring that foot forward, a little bit of power. As always, that ankle is underneath that knee. So if you need to make that adjustment, feel free to send that left knee down to the mat, top of that left foot meets. Nice low lunge in that stretch, that left hip flexor. As always, if you like it a little bit different, you can turn those hips under, bring those hands to them to change up that profile of that stretch. Excellent. I want you to go ahead and sweep those arms up and bring it into this position. So if you were a little lower, go ahead and bring it up. Bring that knee right underneath that hip. So we're nice and supported. And we're going to take this kind of into a version of what our peaceful warrior is, but with that back knee down. So my right knee is forward. I'm going to take my right arm forward and my left arm back. Now from here, I am going to send my hand back towards my heel because that's where I feel most supported. If you can't quite reach that, you can always bring it down to that calf or somewhere a little bit different, or not bring it all the way down. My right arm is going to flip up, and I'm going to send my left hand down to meet my heel and press my right fingertips up towards the ceiling. So a nice little front side body stretch. I also tend to feel this in my left hip flexor. From here, same as we might out of a similar position to this, we're going to go ahead and press off of that left hand, but use that right hand for a little momentum. So powering it up, bringing it back to center. And then go ahead and bring both of those arms nice and long up overhead. We're taking it to our crescent. Curl the left toe under, activate the core, press straight up. If you need that support, feel free to bring those hands down, press that knee up, and then meet us up in that crescent lunge. Excellent. We're going to do a very brief transition as our warm-up for our warrior 3. So we're going to do a very small balance, and then we'll meet in that forward fold. So our right foot is going to stay solid. We're going to shift that weight over it. I want you to count 1 Mississippi when you get up into that balance. So bring it there, whether that toe is low or high, 1 Mississippi, and then go ahead and set that left foot down next to the right, fingertips down towards the floor, forward fold. Excellent. All right, let's take this into our chair pose, a little more work for those quads. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back, chair pose. Very brief in here once again. We're just getting warmed up, getting moving. Go ahead and exhale, forward fold. Fabulous. Go ahead and bend those knees, bring those fingertips to the mat, send both of those feet back nice and long. High push-up plank very briefly. Lots of that plank work, like I said. And then we're going to reverse that inchworm to bring it back to that fold at the back of our mat. So feel free to bend those knees, walk it back until you get to that fold at the back. All right. Fabulous. We've got a little break here. You've got some options. You can stay in this fold. You can roll it up, grab a sip, shake it out, anything that you need to do. If you don't want to stay in that fold, but you're not ready to grab a sip or do anything else, so you can just find that nice, easy mountain pose when you get to the top. Taking about 3 nice deep breaths here on that interim, on that break, before we get moving again. When you finish out that sip or any range of motion that took you away from center, bring it back to the back of that mat. That next inhale can take those arms up, and then we'll bring it into that fold. All right, when you hit that fold, we're gonna take it into that halfway lift just once this time. So our inhale, nice flat back, long spine, active core. Exhale back down into that fold. From here, bend the knees, send those fingertips to the mat, walk those hands out into that nice high push-up plank position. From here, we're gonna go right into that low flow. Take any of those options that we've done before, toes or knees, chaturanga, elbows send back, chest meets the mat, tops of those feet meet, cobra or baby cobra. Child's pose or downward facing dog. And if you found that child's pose, go ahead and meet us in that down dog. We're going to hit that low flow just one more time, exactly like that. So go ahead and float it out, high push-up plank. Any of those options, toes or knees, elbows stay close, chest comes down, and then presses up, cobra or baby cobra. Turn those toes under, activate that core, press those hips up and back, downward facing dog. All right, here we go. We're going to restart from that rocket. So float those shoulders out over those wrists. Do not go into that chaturanga. We're going to bend the knees and send the hips back, finding that power in those legs. This time I'm going to send my left leg forward. So power it forward. Try and find that ankle underneath that knee. And then that right knee goes ahead and meets the mat, top of that right foot. If you like that low lunge from here, you can stay here for a breath or two. If you prefer it from here, you can bring it up nice and tall, turn those hips under, and just send them slightly forward until you find that stretch through that hip flexor. Excellent. If you did find that low lunge, go ahead and bring it to that nice tall torso. All right, we're going to find that kind of peaceful warrior version from that knee on the ground here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my arms up and then send my left forward and my right back. So again, my left knee is forward, so same side is to the front. Turn that left palm up, send my right hand down towards my heel, a little bit of a back bend there, and left fingertips up towards the ceiling. So I am putting some good pressure on my heel. This shouldn't be painful, so if it is, feel free to make any small adjustments that you need to, or to even not bring those fingertips all the way down and use that core for more support. Once again, we're going to come up and over, so I'm going to use my left hand for a little momentum. I'm going to press off of my right, bring it back up to center, and then both arms come long. We're making that transition to our crescent, same as before. If you need those hands for support, feel free to find them. If not, curl that right toe under, send it straight up into that crescent lunge. Fabulous, fabulous work. All right, same thing, that brief warrior three. So when you find that balance, we'll find that one Mississippi at the top. So this is that second foot for that warm up. We're taking our weight over that left foot, that front foot, bringing it up into that balance. When you get there, find that nice long one count, and then send that right foot down next to the left, back into that fold. Nice, let's take it into that chair pose. Inhale, sweeps the arms up, sinks the hips back, nice long spine. Nice active core here, same as that halfway lift and those planks. You guys are doing great. Nice, next exhale, fold us forward, fingertips towards the toes. Bend those knees, plant those hands, send those feet back nice and long. High push-up plank. And go ahead and inchworm it back. Walking those hands back, bend those knees as you go. Plant those heels when you can, send it back to that forward fold. Alrighty, I'm going to take it all the way up and bring it back down. If you know that coming up and back down in one nice deep breath is going to throw you off, feel free to stay low. That inhale is going to take me all the way up. Arms up overhead, nice stretch. And then that exhale is going to dive me back forward into that fold. All right, you guys, we're going to keep it moving. Let's go ahead and find that halfway lift. Inhale, flat back, long spine. Exhale into that fold. Bend those knees, bring those fingertips down, inchworm it out into that high push-up plank position. We've got that low flow twice through. Any of those options are fabulous. Find that nice chaturanga, toes or knees, press it up, cobra or baby cobra, maybe up dog if you're feeling good. Activate that core before you turn those toes under, press those hips up and back into that down dog. And then one more time through just like that. As always, this does not need to be a working segment. If you much prefer to have that child's pose, use that as a little rest, you certainly can, depending on how the shoulders and wrists feel. When you finish that second one, go ahead and meet me in that downward facing dog. Take your time, stretch it out. Excellent, here we go. High push-up plank, shoulders over wrists. This time, instead of chaturanga, we're taking it to that rocket. Bend those knees, send those hips back. Right foot's going to come forward. Power off of it. Don't send that left knee to the mat. Keep it right here. Sweep it up. Crescent. Warrior two. Left heel turns down, arms open. And here's that peaceful for us. Flip that front palm, lift it up and back again. You can send those fingertips towards the floor. They can rest gently on that back leg, or you can find that half bind around behind the back. Use that right arm for that little momentum to bring us back up to center. And then we're going to come back to our crescent. I'm going to take my left arm, sweep it forward, lift my left heel as my hip turns in. All right, a little longer on that warrior three, that balance pose this time. Taking our weight over that right foot. Find your balance, find your center. If you can, lengthening that right leg, starting to lift those toes. As always, those toes can be down. If you maybe have something right in front of you for that little extra balance, maybe the wall right to the side of you, that's fabulous. Finding whatever version of this warrior three that you can. Nice. Give me one more breath wherever you are. And then send that left foot down next to the right and bring it into that fold. Fabulous work. Nice. Working on that balance, bringing it up every time a little bit more. Excellent. Here comes that chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. A little more work for those legs. Nicely done, nicely done. With that next exhale, can you get another centimeter deeper? A little bit more bend in those knees. Next exhale brings us back to that fold, fingertips towards the toes. Bend the knees, bring the fingertips down, step it back long into our high push-up plank. Inchworm it back, bend those knees, send those hips back, walk those hands back until those heels can meet and we're back in that fold. All right, we're gonna take it one more time through before we take a little break. Again, if you'd like to stay low, you can. I'm gonna take one breath to bring it all the way up. Big inhale. And then that exhale to bring us back to that fold. Fingertips towards the toes. Here we go for that halfway lift. Inhale to that flat back, that spine. Exhale into that fold, fingertips towards the toes. We're inchworming out to that high push-up plank position. Bend the knees, fingertips come down, walk it out. When you get there, twice through on that low flow. Toes or knees, chaturanga. Press the chest up, cobra, upward facing dog. Activate the core, turn the toes under, press the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. One more time through. Take your option, whichever one works best for you. Nice, that nice chaturanga, that upward dog or that cobra, and then activate that core, turn those toes under, press those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Here we go into that rocket. So I want you to float those shoulders out over those wrists. One more time into that high push-up plank. Send those hips back, bend those knees. Nice, powerful starting position. Left foot comes forward this time. Power off of it. Keep that right knee floating. Ankle comes underneath. Use that adjustment if you need to. Activate the core, sweep it up into our crescent when you find that balance. Nice. Take your moment to find that stable positioning, and then let's take it into our warrior two. Right heel, arms open. Here comes that peaceful. Flip that front palm, lift it up and back. You can send that right hand down towards the floor, down towards that back leg, or around behind the back for that spine. Nice stretch through the front side body. Bring it back out to center. Warrior two. And then we're going to make that transition back to our crescent. So right arm is going to sweep forward. Right heel is going to lift. That hip comes under. Excellent. Here comes that warrior three, that balanced pose. So we're back from our crescent. We're taking our weight over our left foot. Find your balance if you can. And again, any of those options that we go through is fabulous. Toes can stay on the mat. Maybe we work on just that little lift. Maybe hands come into center. Maybe we've got that balance, but we just need a fingertip on the wall or a fingertip on something near you. If you come out of it, come back into it. We've got two more nice deep breaths here. Excellent. Go ahead and send that right foot down next to the left. Bring it into that fold. Very good, very good. Let's take it into our chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. Fabulous work. With your next exhale, can you get just a tiny bit deeper into that chair? Centimeter deeper. Nice. Next exhale brings us back into that fold. Fingertips towards the toes. Bend those knees, bring those fingertips down, send those feet back nice and long into that high push-up plank position. You guys are doing great. Nice little hold here. Keep it right here. Keep it right here. Excellent. Let's inchworm it back. Fingertips coming back towards those toes. Into that fold. And then let's go ahead and bring it up for our extended mountain. Nice and easy. Roll it up. Arms up overhead. Exhale brings them down when you get there. All right, go ahead and take a moment. Once again, shake it out, grab a sip wherever you need to be, any stretch that you need. I certainly need a sip. I'm gonna pull this sweatshirt off. It was cold in here when we got started, but now we're moving. Whew. All right, let's see. We've got about 7 left. All right, all right. Fabulous. Alrighty, so once you finish that, we are going to keep moving. We're going to hit it one more time in each direction. We'll see what kind of timing looks like depending on how quickly and how long we hold things. We are going to take one of our low flows away for this last round in our first 40 minutes. We'll only go through it once. When you're ready, find the back of your mat. We're going to take an inhale to take us up, and our exhale is going to bring us into our forward fold. So with your next inhale, go ahead and take it up. And that exhale brings us down, fingertips towards the toes. We've still got our halfway lift here. So with your next inhale, take it into it. Find that nice flat back, that long spine, that active core. That exhale brings us back down into that fold. From here, we're going to inchworm it out nice and long. So go ahead and bend those knees. Bring those fingertips down to the mat. Walk it out. High push-up plank. When you get there one time through low flow, toes or knees, chaturanga, lower it down. Press the chest up, cobra, baby cobra, up dog. Turn those toes under, activate the core, press the hips up and back, down dog. Taking your time if your timing's a little bit different. Here we go. We're skipping that second one to bring it to our rocket. So shoulders float out over wrists. Powerful starting position. Send those hips back, bend those knees. We're powering off of that right foot to bring it as far forward as we can. So right foot comes forward. If you need that adjust, find that adjust. We're bringing it into our crescent. So find your balance, sweep it up, find that nice steady positioning. Excellent. Warrior two turns our left heel down, opens the arms. Peaceful, flips the front palm, lifts it up and back. Bring it back over to center, warrior two. Sweep that left arm forward, lift that left heel, find your balance. Make that nice transition. Here we go, warrior three, one more time for this right foot. So lifting off of that left. Once again, if those toes need to stay grounded or you need to find something to hold on to, that's fabulous. If you have that balance, find that spot to look at. Keep that core engaged, try and keep those hips even. Maybe it's just a moment of that float, and then you bring it back down for a little more stability. Give me one more nice deep breath here in this balance. With that next exhale, go ahead and send that left foot next to the right and into our fold. Fabulous. Chair pose here. Here we go. Inhale, sweeps our arms up, sinks our hips back. Excellent work. Go ahead and fold it forward, fingertips towards the toes. Bend those knees, bring those fingertips down, walk those feet back nice and long, high push-up plank position. And let's inchworm it back. Walking those hands back towards those toes into our fold. Once again, we've got our one nice deep breath. You can keep it low or you can bring it up and back down. Nice big inhale. And then exhale. We're gonna go one more time through. Halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale into that fold. Go ahead and walk it out, inchworm it to our high push-up plank. And of course, that one more time through is just for our first 40 minutes. If you're sticking around, you know we've got a little bit more. Low flow, one time. Shoulders or toes or knees. Elbows go straight back. Pressing it up into that cobra or baby cobra. Activate that core before you turn those toes under. Press those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Here we go into that rocket. Shoulders come out over wrists. High push-up plank once again. Bend those knees, send those hips back, power off. Left foot comes forward here this last time. Again, use that assist if you need to. Find your balance. Sweep those arms up into our crescent. So find that stability for yourself wherever you need to be. As always, if you're a little shorter or a little longer here, that's fine. Let's take it to our warrior two. Turn the right heel down, open the arms. Peaceful, flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Nice stretch for that front side body. Excellent, let's take it back out to center. Here comes that transition back to our crescent. Right arm sweeps forward, right heel lifts. And then our final balance of our first 40 minutes, let's take it into that warrior 3. So taking our weight over that left foot, lifting those right toes if you can. Again, maybe only momentarily, maybe for this full portion. Finding that nice balance, finding that active core. Give me one more nice deep breath here. One big inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and send that right foot next to the left into our fold. Here we go, final time into our chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. Can you get just a centimeter deeper? Nice, nicely done. Big inhale. Exhale into that fold. Bend those knees, fingertips come down, walk those feet back nice and long. Push up plank position. Inchworm it back, fingertips back towards those toes. Nice and slow. Go ahead, roll it on all the way up into our extended mountain. Arms up. And our exhale brings them down. And that brings us to the end of our first 40 minutes. Like I said, if you are interested in the extra 20, we will keep moving in that flow. If not, I'm happy to have had you here for however much time you are able to spend with me this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time. And if you're coming on back. All right, so finding the back of our mat, we're going to start off same as we did before with those nice deep breaths. So finding our mountain pose, and those first two are going to be nice and still. So like I said before, feet can be right underneath those hips. They can be out underneath those shoulders, hands down by your side, or maybe on those hips. Give me two nice deep breaths just right where you are. Nice big inhale and exhale. Allow that expansion of the chest, of the lungs, of the belly. And those exhales just to release and relax shoulders, that tension. One more time like that, that big inhale. And nice big exhale. And then we're gonna lead with those arms. Same thing, two nice deep breaths. Inhale takes us up. Exhale brings us down. One more time like that. This time we'll take it into our fold. Inhale takes us up. Exhale, fingertips towards the toes. Nice forward fold, nice stretch here. As always, feel free to have that gentle bend in those knees. Maybe you like a little bit more intense of a stretch for the lower body, so you keep the spine a little longer. Maybe you like a little bit more of a stretch for the lower back, so you round it out. Let's take our halfway lift. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine. Exhale back into that fold. Let's take it into our inchworm, and we're going to pause out of that high push-up plank. So fingertips come to the mat. Walk those hands out nice and long. Find that high push-up plank position. Now we're going to take a moment and just hold here. Option to take it up a notch. If you'd like, you can add a push-up or two. If not, keep it right here in that high push-up plank position. Nice strong core. Pull those shoulder blades apart. Keep it active. Excellent. And then we're going to go ahead and take it into our low flow twice through. Chaturanga, toes or knees. Elbows stay close. Lower it down. Press it up. Cobra or upward facing dog. Activate that core. Turn those toes under. Press those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's meet out in that high push-up plank position once again. Shoulders over wrists. Keep that pause for me there. Right when you get out to that tail end, give me that pause. If you want that extra push-up, add it. If you don't, we're right here. And with your next exhale, go ahead and find that chaturanga. Lower down, toes or knees. Press the chest up, cobra or upward facing dog. Activate the core, turn the toes under, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. All right, we're taking it into that rocket next. Shoulders over wrists. We're in that push-up plank, but very briefly this time because we're going to go ahead and bend those knees, send those hips back, rocket, power off, right foot comes forward. When you get there, find your balance, find your core, find your stability, sweep it up, crescent. Nicely done, warrior two. Arms open, heel turns down. Nice bend in that front knee still. Flip that front palm, lift it up and back, peaceful. Bring it back out to center. Here comes that transition. Left arm comes forward, left heel comes up. Find those arms up overhead. And if you can power off of that left foot and bring it right into that warrior three. If not, feel free to take that half step forward. Take your time. Find your active core. Same as before, if those toes need to be down or you need that support space, feel free to have it. Maybe those hands come to heart center. Nice. Give me 2 more nice deep breaths wherever you are. If you come out of it, come back into it. With that second exhale, send that left foot down next to the right forward. Whew, nicely done, nicely done. Here we go into that chair, a little bit more work for those legs. Inhale, sweeps our arms up, sinks our hips back. Fabulous, fabulous. One more nice deep breath, big inhale. Exhale into that fold, fingertips towards the toes. Fabulous. All right, we're gonna take it back. So go ahead and bend those knees, bring those fingertips down, step those feet back nice and long, high push-up plank position. Inchworm it back. Walk those hands back towards those toes. Find it back into that fold. We're taking it through one more time. As always, you can stay low if you'd prefer, or we're gonna take that one nice deep breath to come all the way up and back down. So our inhale is gonna take us up. And that exhale brings us back into that fold. Let's take our halfway lift. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine, that active core. Exhale back into that fold. Here we go, inchworm it out. Bend those knees. Fingertips come down to the mat. Walk it out nice and long until we hit that high push-up plank. Pause for me again when you hit that high push-up plank position. Think about that positioning. Pull those shoulder blades apart. Keep that nice long line from the shoulders to the heels or the shoulders to the knees. If you want those push-ups, you can add 1 or 2 right here. If not, keep it in this plank position for me. Nice and strong and sturdy. With your next exhale, take it into that chaturanga. Toes or knees, lower it down. Elbows stay close. And then bring it into that cobra, baby cobra, or up dog. Whew. Nice, same thing. Here we go. Activate the core. Turn the toes under. Press the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Little stretch for that lower body. Float it out to that high push-up plank position. Pause for me when you get there. Once again, you can keep it in this plank or you can find that 1 or 2 push-ups. And we've got that chaturanga. Go ahead, toes or knees, lower it down. Press the chest up, cobra or up dog. Activate the core, turn the toes under, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. We got a lot of shoulder and core work tonight. Excellent. Out to that plank one more time to prepare us for rocket. So go ahead and bend those knees, send those hips back. Nice, powerful starting position. Left foot's going to come forward this time when we spring off of it. Find your balance, find your core, your stability. Sweep the arms up. Crescent lunge. Nice. Let's take it into that warrior two. Turn that right heel down, open those arms. Nice bend in that left knee still. Flip that front palm, lift it up and back, peaceful. Bring it back out to center, warrior two. Right arm comes forward, right heel lifts back into that crescent. Here comes that balance work. Powering off of that right foot, trying to bring that weight over the left. Finding our warrior three, any of those options that we go over. Toes down, maybe knee a little bent, maybe hands long, maybe hands at heart center. Give me 2 more nice deep breaths here. With your second exhale, bring that right foot down next to the left. Forward fold. Fabulous. Here we go into that chair. Sweep those arms up, sink those hips back. Very nice. 1 more nice deep breath. Big inhale. Exhale into that fold. Fingertips towards the toes. Nicely done. Go ahead, bend those knees, plant those hands, step those feet back nice and long. High push-up plank position. Nice, strong core here. Looking good, looking good. Inchworm it back into that fold. Fingertips back towards the toes. Heels meet. Nice stretch here. Take a moment in this fold Fingertips can come down towards the toes. Opposite hand can find opposite elbow. Maybe it's a little bit of a side to side. Maybe the head shakes nice and slow, yes or no, to release tension through the neck. Wherever you are, go ahead and take 2 more nice deep breaths for me in this fold. Whatever version of it feels good. And then we're going to take that nice slow roll back up towards the ceiling. Once again, starting with those hips, with that pelvis. So coming up just high enough that you can turn it under. And then following with that lower back, that mid back. Then pull those shoulder blades together. Lift the chin, bring the arms up overhead. Nice big stretch, long away from center. Go ahead, bring that right hand down, that left arm up over top. Nice big lateral stretch. Inhale up to center. Exhale, second side. Inhale up to center. Bring those fingertips together, interlace, press the palms up. Exhale, bring the arms down and around. You can press the palms towards each other behind the back, or you can interlace those hands behind the back, opening through the chest, pulling the shoulder blades together. Nice stretch for the chest, for the shoulders. Exhale to release. Fabulous. Inhale takes us up. Fingertips come together. We interlace, press the palms up. Maybe we lift the chin towards the ceiling. Exhale, circles the arms back down and around. Interlace or press towards each other behind the back. Open up through the chest. Pull the shoulder blades together. Exhale to release. We've got our final inchworm coming next. Give me one more inhale to take those arms up. And our exhale into our fold. Fingertips towards the toes. Last inchworm is going to take us out to that plank position. Bend those knees. Walk those hands out. Just briefly out into that plank, no big hold here, because we're going to bring it down into our puppy. I want you to bring those knees underneath those hips, walk those hands out nice and long, press the chest down towards the mat. Nice little stretch there. Find that puppy position. Let's take it into our spinal twist. Right hand is going to lift off that mat. We're going to thread it through underneath, place the shoulder. As always, arm can stay out long. You can find that half bind, or like we've implemented the last couple of weeks, fingertips can start together, and then we can open up towards the ceiling for that little bit deeper of a spinal twist, and then bring it back down. So that thoracic spine rotation here, if that feels good, you can take it. If it's a little too intense for the shoulders, keep it in either of those other options. Give me 2 more nice deep breaths in any of those. After you finish that second deep breath, if that left hand came away from center, go ahead and bring it back. Bring that right hand back around to that puppy. Spinal twist, second direction. Left hand lifts, threads through. Left shoulder meets that mat. Whew. Again, you can stay right here. You can find that half bind, or you can find that T-spine rotation, fingertips together, palms together, and then that opening up towards the ceiling. Any of those options is fabulous. Take the one that works best for you tonight. Give me 2 more nice deep breaths. Fabulous. If you took that right hand away from center line, bring it back. Left hand comes out as well, back to that puppy. Let's take it forward into our cobra or baby cobra. Hips come down to the mat, chest lifts, and we've got that little bit of a front to back range of motion. So hips go back towards our child's pose, little stretch for the lower back, hips go back a little further than our puppy, and then forward again for that cobra or that baby cobra. Give me 2 more times each direction, move at your own pace. Pressing it back and forward. And then we'll have that final time. Pressing it back. And then forward. From that last time into our cobra or baby cobra, we're going to take it one final time into our downward facing dog. Curl those toes under, activate the core, press the hips up and back. We are going to find our half pigeon on each side. So maybe you'll come one more time into this down dog as our transition. I'm going to take my right foot. I'm going to slide it underneath. That shin is going to meet that mat. That top of that left foot meets the mat. We're going to take 4 nice deep breaths in this first side. So feel free to come down a little lower if it feels good. Feel free to find that hip flexor, that quad stretch if that feels good. Take the option that is right for you. One more nice deep breath wherever you are. And then go ahead and bring it back to those palms if you brought it down any lower. You've got 2 options for that transition. You can come through your down dog, or you can send that right hip down, circle those legs all the way around, and then bring it to that other side. I'm going to go through my down dog. Left leg is going to come forward and underneath, and we're just going to finish off with that half pigeon on that second side. So again, you can stay here if you'd like, or you can bring it into any other version of it that feels good. Maybe this side's a little different than the other, and that is okay. Two more nice deep breaths here. If you found anything but those palms, go ahead and bring it back to them. Send that left hip down to the mat, and then circle that right leg around back to that comfortable seated position. When you get there, let's find that nice big inhale to take those arms out. One lateral stretch each direction, right hand down, left arm up. Inhale up through center, second side. Inhale up to center. Exhale, circle the arms down and around. We've got one final nice deep breath. Those palms are going to meet right up overhead. Our inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Thank you, as always, for joining me this Monday evening. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your Monday, a great rest of your week, and I hope to see you next time. The light in me honors, the light in you, bowing as we say, namaste.